No one expected the galaxy to notice Earth. For thousands of years, humanity looked out at the stars believing itself small, unnoticed, irrelevant. And then a single message changed everything. The transmission arrived on March 19, 2238. It was faint, barely strong enough to be picked up by the deep-range neutrino detectors orbiting Neptune, but its structure was unmistakably artificial. Humanity had spent decades broadcasting greetings into the void. This was the first time something answered. Dr. Enya Marik, Chief Communications Officer of the Deep Listening Array, was the first to decode it. She remembered the exact moment the message blossomed into meaning. "We observe. We approach. Prepare your emissary." The array staff celebrated for one night and panicked the next. By the end of the week, half of Earth's governments were arguing over who would represent humanity, and the other half were arguing over whether contact should happen at all. The United Earth Directorate made the final call. The emissary would be human, and her name would be Dr. Enya Marik. Beginning. The alien vessel arrived in orbit with no spectacle at all. No glowing engines, no thunderous entry, no fleet. It simply appeared, one moment empty space, the next a shimmering obsidian structure drifting above Earth like a patient eye. It was smooth, seamless, featureless, except for a single circular aperture. The ship was eerily silent, completely ignoring hails from every nation and channel. The only acknowledgement came directly to Enya, a short-range burst of neutrinos, encoded in the same structure as the original message. "Approach. You are Herald." Her transport shuttle docked with the alien vessel. There were no airlocks, no corridors, just a chamber filled with a faint silver mist. Her suit readings insisted it was breathable. She removed her helmet. A voice vibrated inside her skull, not heard but felt. "Herald Enya Marik. We are the Qorel. We have come to judge." The Qorel themselves never appeared physically. Instead, fractal light swirled within the chamber, shaping itself into abstract patterns that hinted at forms but never committed to them. Enya swallowed. Judge what? Worthiness? For membership? For diplomacy? For survival? She felt a chill even in the warm mist. "Your species ice young, impulsive, violent. We require assurance that you may join the stellar arch without threat. Prove this, and humanity will ascend. Fail, and you will return to isolation." It was the chance of a millennium. The Qorel were ancient, older than DNA, older than worlds. Joining them could launch humanity thousands of years forward in an instant. Enya inhaled slowly. "I'm ready to prove us worthy." The chamber brightened. "Begin interrogation." The questioning lasted hours, maybe days. There was no way to track time. The Qorel probed every corner of human history, morality, conflict, psychology. They dissected humanity through Enya's memories and her answers. When it ended, the light dimmed. The time has come. A final tendril of fractal light reached out and touched her forehead. Pain exploded behind her eyes. Then nothing. Enya awoke lying on the floor of the Qorel chamber. She felt hollow, drained. The lights were dimmer. The Qorel voice was weaker. "Herald, your truth has been received. What happens now?" she croaked. There was a long, trembling pause. "We must deliberate. Return to your world. You will receive our decision." She was escorted out by the same invisible forces that had greeted her. Her shuttle disconnected, and she returned to Earth in silence. What she didn't know was that during the final interrogation, the Qorel had extracted a copy of her neural structure, every memory, every doubt, every fear she harbored about humanity. She never knew the exact moment they decided she was too dangerous to keep alive. Middle. Enya Marik was found dead in her quarters 2 days later. No wound, no poison, no struggle. Every medical scan returned the same baffling result: massive neural collapse, instantaneous, cause unknown. But the timing was undeniable. The Qorel had killed Earth's emissary. Before anyone could react, the alien vessel transmitted one final message: "Humanity ice unfit. We depart. Prepare no further signals. They will not be answered." Then the ship vanished in the same impossible way it had arrived. The world erupted. At first, Earth turned inward, shock, grief, and anger boiling across nations. Protests demanded retaliation. Militaries demanded action. Scientists insisted retaliation was suicidal, but the silence was worse than the death. For 3 months, humanity waited for another message. Some hoped for negotiation, others feared annihilation. None arrived. The Qorel hadn't just killed their emissary, they had rejected humanity entirely. And rejection, for a species that had clawed its way from tribalism to planetary unity, cut too deep to bear. The United Earth Directorate convened an emergency session. What they decided would shape the next century. Earth would not accept isolation. Earth would not forgive murder. Earth would prepare for war. The Warforge Initiative was born, an alliance of nations, corporations, and militarized research institutions. They reverse-engineered every scrap of Qorel data Enya had brought back, fragments of energy patterns, fractal resonance signatures, quantum echoes embedded in the chamber walls of the shuttle. Humanity couldn't match Qorel technology, but it could approximate it. Warp resonance, graviton lenses, exotic matter harnessing. These were the outcomes of a global frenzy of innovation. Humanity learned faster than ever before. Fear is a powerful motivator. Anger is stronger still. By 2253, 15 years after the death of Enya Marik, Earth launched its first deep strike fleet. The Argent Dawn, a fleet of 10 battleships, 50 escort vessels, and over 300 drones capable of FTL transit. The fleet's goal was simple: find the Qorel, confront them, demand retribution. But the galaxy refused to cooperate. The Qorel had vanished without a trace. Captain Reese Calder kept a personal copy of Enya Marik's final public speech before boarding the alien vessel. Her hopeful optimism, her belief that humanity's better nature would shine through. He listened to it every night to remind himself of the stakes. When the Qorel destroyed her, they didn't just kill a scientist. They killed the idea that humanity could coexist with the stars peacefully. For Captain Calder, the war wasn't revenge. It was survival. The Qorel return. In 2258, the Qorel finally resurfaced. A sensor station in the Andromeda Gate network detected a gravitational ripple, a signature almost identical to the alien vessel that had visited Earth. The fleet jumped without hesitation. The coordinates led them to a dying star system, its sun cracked and bleeding plasma through impossible fissures. Around it hung rings of shattered planetoids, drifting like bones. In the center of the debris was the Qorel ship, or rather, dozens of them. A full conclave. Captain Calder opened comms. "This is United Earth Directorate Fleet Command. You murdered our emissary. You abandoned diplomacy. You owe us an explanation." Silence. Then the Qorel voice returned. Hollow, fragmented, weaker than before. "Humans, you should not be here. You forfeited the right to tell us where we belong," Calder growled. "We demand justice for Enya Marik." There was a shudder in the Qorel response. "The Herald lives. The bridge froze." Calder's heart thudded. "Explain." The Qorel ships vibrated with wavering light as though struggling to maintain cohesion. "Herald Enya Marik was not destroyed by us. Her mind, we extracted her truths. Too much. We did not harm her body, yet her form could not hold the burden." Calder clenched his fists. "You copied her mind until her brain collapsed. That's execution." "We did not understand. Your biology is fragile. You murdered her. We learned too late. We grieve." Calder's voice became ice. "Then why send a rejection message? Why leave us to believe you executed her intentionally?" The Qorel's fractal lights flickered violently, splitting into chaotic patterns. "Because we were under attack." The bridge fell silent. "A force beyond you struck us. Our realms, our worlds collapsed. Our message was not warning you away from us. IT was warning you away from them." Calder whispered, "Them? The Reapers of Light, the first species, the end of all things. They saw our contact. They followed the signal. They erased us." Images flooded the fleet's sensors, an entire stellar empire burning star by star, extinguished by something unseen, something that devoured civilizations like oxygen. "We tried to warn you. You thought IT was judgment. IT was fear, pure fear." Calder swallowed, voice tight. "Why reveal this now? Because they have found you. The real enemy." The star's surface cracked. Light bent. Space screamed. A shape emerged, made of radiance and hunger, a silhouette of impossible geometry. Sensors overloaded instantly. Shields flickered. Communications died mid-transmission. A single pulse from the creature ripped 3 escort frigates in half. The Qorel screamed, not in words but in a psychic wail that tore at the crew's minds. Flee! 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 Captain Calder didn't flee. He roared, weapons free! Missiles launched, plasma beams fired, graviton lenses carved through space. The creature shimmered, then reshaped the attacks into harmless light, absorbing them like sunbeams on water. Another pulse, 5 more ships lost. Calder slammed his fist on tactical controls. Dive! Bring us under its firing plane. Target the distortion nodes around its body. The fleet obeyed. Years of training, centuries of anger, decades of preparation, all culminating in this single moment. The Qorel joined the fight, their fractal ships unfolding into impossible configurations, bending physics like soft clay. Their combined assault finally made the creature hesitate. Not wounded, just surprised. It observed them, the defiance of humans, the desperation of the dying Qorel. And for a moment it paused, then it spoke, not in words, but in an overwhelming sensation: you should not exist. And humanity answered with fire. Calder's fleet sacrificed half its ships to drive the creature back, bombarding it with experimental resonance bombs. The Qorel tore open a fracture in space-time, trying to trap the enemy inside. The creature resisted. The star collapsed. Everything, ships, debris, light, was pulled toward the growing singularity. Calder gave the final order. All remaining ships, jump. Leave me here. The bridge crew stared in horror. You heard me. The Dawn's engines are the strongest. We can trigger a resonance collapse from inside the singularity's pull. We can force that thing in with us. Captain, that's an order. He activated manual override. The crew vanished in emergency escape pods flung through pre-programmed wormholes. Calder remained. He steered the Argent Dawn directly into the heart of the gravitational maelstrom. His last transmission reached the fleeing fleet. For Enya, for Earth, for all of us. The Dawn detonated. The singularity shrieked shut. The creature vanished with it, ending. Of the original fleet, only 12 ships returned to Earth. The Qorel did not. Their final message arrived days later. A faint echo carried across the quantum, scars of the battle. Humanity, you are not unfit. You are hope. The arch has fallen. You must be what we were. Guard the stars. Then silence. But this time, Earth didn't grieve the silence. They respected it. A monument was built on the lunar surface, an obsidian spire bearing 2 names. Enya Marik, the first emissary, Reese Calder, the last. Beneath them an inscription. They silenced the messenger, but we spoke back, and the stars will hear us forever. Humanity did not retreat. Humanity did not fear. Humanity prepared. Because somewhere in the dark, beyond fractured stars and dead empires, something ancient still stirred, and Earth would be ready. Total war had been declared, not on the Qorel, on the Reapers of Light, and this time humanity would not be the underdog.